Can you take a dad joke and turn it into cold hard cash? Welcome back to Listen to Leo. In today's video, I wanted to explore how we can take an idea and move it into reality. If you've been watching my videos lately, I talk a lot about the power of ideas and how far they can take you. And I wanted to share an example that started with a dad joke. So, my older son is 12 and he's been getting really into Manchester City lately. His favorite player is Erling Haaland, and he talks about Man City and Haaland constantly. But he said something the other day about Etihad Stadium, and for whatever reason, it triggered in my brain as Yeti hat. And that amused me to no end. And so I was like, oh, I've never heard about Yeti Hat Stadium. Where is that? Tell me more about it. And so he was kind of annoyed with me. Dad, it's Etihad. Um, and it kind of was going back and forth because, let's face it, when I have a joke that gets a strong reaction, that's simply incentive to continue pushing it. But he was getting like so annoyed with me, and we were kind of going back and forth with it. And I said, you know what? That's it. I'm going to open up an online store called yetihat.com. We're going to say Yeti hats. And so he kind of rolled his eyes all the way to the back of his head, as kids do, and said, that's the dumbest idea you've ever had, Dad. And so I went and bought the domain, and have since actually set up a Shopify store, connected it to Printify for print on demand, and all in all, this experiment really costs nothing. I mean, there is some cost associated, $10 for the domain name for the year. Shopify and Printify are on like trials right now, so I think Shopify is $1 a month for a few months. I don't know what I'm paying for Printify. I don't think I'm paying anything for it yet, but not a ton of costs associated. Honestly, if I can make a few sales a month, it's going to pay for itself. I should be able to do that at least. But more importantly, I think my goal here is to really demonstrate entrepreneurship. And over the years, I've seen all sorts of people succeed with incredibly bizarre ideas because they just went with them. They didn't sit and analyze the market for an idea. I actually interviewed the founder of dickatyourdoor.com, who was basically driving around with his friends. They stopped somewhere, found a penis-shaped mold, and said, wouldn't it be funny to turn this into chocolate and send it to our friends? And that actually was the basis for a well-performing store. And now they have like all sorts of extra products and everything. But the reality is, it all starts with an idea. And when you can shorten the time from idea to execution to where it's almost immediate, you can throw a ton of ideas out there and see what sticks. Now, this is completely against conventional wisdom that says you should focus and niche down and make sure you're, getting this one thing done right. No, the reality is we have the ability to do almost anything at zero cost. You have to start off at small scale, but even just starting off with something that's content, a blog post, a YouTube video, a podcast episode, you can always start and see how it feels and continue to follow it if it feels good. That's been my approach to all of this. I start doing stuff and I say, hey, do I enjoy this? And if the answer is yes, I continue it. If the answer is no, then I stop it. Over the past few years, I have started and quit more things than most people have even tried in their lifetime, I'm pretty sure. Certainly around businesses. I've thrown all sorts of ideas at the wall. A few of them got a little bit of traction. Most of them got no traction, and that's totally fine. Because what I've been focusing on is actually optimizing on my time to launch. How quickly can I go from idea to something tangible? And the closer I get to zero, the more shots I get to take. And the more shots I get to take, the more goals I score. Certainly no Erling Haaland quite yet. But hey, there's time. So I hope this illustrates how quickly you can go from idea to something in the world. And I do plan on sharing updates. I'm actually going to put this store into the hands of my 8-year-old. He's been really interested in learning about e-commerce and everything like that. I set him up with an AI co-founder from myaicofounder.com and see how well that helps him. Because all of this together is a great way for me to experiment in new and interesting ways. Most people don't have the advantage of having an 8-year-old who's interested in entrepreneurship and a product that is an AI co-founder and an online store that he can hand to his 8-year-old to run. But by thinking about things in just very generalist terms, by exploring the paths that seem like the most fun, that ends up being my unfair advantage. And that means that I can exploit that down the line for bigger and bigger gains and have fun the entire time I'm doing it. So anyway, I think you should definitely check out yetihat.com because my new tagline is every dad joke deserves a store. And honestly, I totally believe that. And I do plan on pushing as many high quality, terrible dad jokes through that store as possible. So hope you're looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.